to practice just simply because they know this is an important match for them. But now going into game number 2 in the second draft, they definitely have to change the MO a little bit to make sure that they are not falling behind with an 0-2.
Well, we're getting ready for game number 2, and we'll see which battleground we'll be moving off to. Now, some battlegrounds that we've seen in the past, we've had some solid games from. We've had Cursed Hollow in the past, or Cursed Hollow in the past. It has been strong for Alex Aprogi and the crew. They've also dabbled a little bit in Tomb of the Spider Queen as well, so wouldn't mind seeing some of those battlegrounds coming out for them, as their control has been pretty solid there.
Yeah.
What?
Good peak.
Oh, we're going to the Tomb of the Spider Queen, aren't we? It's time for our battleground here. Let's go ahead and figure out what battle we're going to. I didn't peek, I promise. I was just throwing out maps.
Sure.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I believe you.
But Granit Gaming chose it.
I totally do.
Not the Monkeys. Monkeys got first pick instead.
Monkeys? Do you want to take a quick guess why the Monkeys didn't choose them? Could be because they're 0-4 here.
Yeah.
That might be one of the explanations. Granit, interesting enough, is also 0-4. So apparently today we're going to pick all the maps where we in the past sucked.
I mean, there's always the argument that they've had a few weeks off and maybe refined their skills in these battlegrounds and are coming back to visit them and try and fix those losing records.
I mean, it's just interesting to me because you're looking at Granit Gaming. They have a 2-0 on Cursed Hollow. They have a 3-1 on Infernal Shrines, which, granted, was the one map that got banned out. But there's a couple of maps where Granit Gaming actually has a good track record. But right now, they're choosing map after map where they have a very, very bad history. So again, it can come down to practice, them just saying, hey, scrims are working really well on those maps. We just finally found a rhythm. We figured out how to play the maps, new heroes, new reworks coming in. That's something that all of a sudden we can bring to the table and it works out for us. But it's still an interesting situation that they don't take any of their power picks here yet. But this is a map that traditionally for both of the teams was rather weak, but it's also a map that is very momentum-based.
Something that we didn't get too much also in Phase 1 from Darkmok was Yrel as a character. Is one of the few heroes that he didn't actually show off too much compared to most top laners. A lot of people would pick that up on the early side. So him coming into Phase 2 and showing that he's been putting practice in for Yrel in game number 1 actually shows me, okay, Granit Gaming has been putting in work here to practice up, and Darkmok showing off that character and saying, listen, I'm here to compete with some of the best in the top lane, does allow for that to happen here on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
It's actually a really good point that you bring up. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I didn't even pick up on that. But we talked about this at the end of part 1 because Granit Gaming played one single game with Yrel in part 1 and they lost that. And every other team, I mean, Dignitas played Yrel 17 times, Method played her 15 times, Fnatic 8 times, 12 times on Roll20. So having a team that just doesn't play Yrel is flat out insane. That's just insanity. That's like, what is wrong with you people? So right now, Granit Gaming saying, okay, we picked that hero up and we are confident picking her now a lot more. That's fantastic for them. That gives them more variety and flexibility within the draft. It also puts them in a spot where they don't have to constantly ban Yrel out because they now can pick her for themselves. So that alone is already putting them into a much better position here. So I really, really like that. It's good that you pointed it out.
And he delivered on it too in game number 1. Controlling that back line and putting the pressure on it. It's just that it feels like Darkmok loves these type of heroes that you can work in auto attacks, be aggressive with. Yrel's more of a when do you use your cooldowns type of hero, but he's definitely been putting in the practice, and it showed in game 1. We'll see if we'll get more of that as we head into game number 2. For now, we look at the bans. Hanzo coming out as an immediate ban for the Monkeys. Seems like Raid Boss and his Hanzo may have put a bad taste in their mouth.
It's a little bit curious as to why we're having these continuous Phoenix bans on the side of the Monkeys, because it's actually a bit odd to me because Monkeys is a team that actually played a lot of Phoenix, and the same is also true for Granit. There's basically not a single team that doesn't play Phoenix at all. But if you're looking at the track record of Granit Gaming with Phoenix, they have 2 wins and 9 losses. It's not really something that screams to me, okay, you need to ban it out against them. So maybe Monkeys just decided that they don't want to pick Phoenix anymore for themselves, and but they also don't want to go up against it. But I really expected them to be the team that picks up Phoenix more reliably. But this is the second time now that they banned it out right away. So a little bit odd. Something must have definitely happened in their scrims where they are all of a sudden not feeling the confidence anymore, but at the same time they don't want to go up against the hero.
Phoenix is one of those heroes that when you lose a team fight to him, it really sucks. It feels pretty bad when he's able to drop off that salvo and completely destroy your entire back line. It feels like it's almost for free as you try to escape, and unless you pick up a bunker or a pretty solid area effect healer, it feels kind of hard to deal with. So Monkeys may just be kind of isolating that out and trying to keep it away from them.
I love the Urel pick on level 1, now that the Monkeys definitely realize that this is a hero that is now being played a lot more by their opponent too.
Yeah.
Interesting to see Gul'dan in the first pick position though. That's something that I didn't really expect here. Now, Gul'dan is seeing a little bit more play, but the priority on some of these heroes is just weird to me. Diablo banned out now, that makes sense for sure, but I could have seen that even as an earlier pick, especially on the side of the Monkeys. I expect that with Urel now taken, they might now go into an Uberok. They have already played a lot of an Uberok in part 1 of Phase 2, so that's still a hero that I would consider on their end. I like Deckard, I like Urel for them.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Muradin either from them. They do have the wave clear already set up for Junkrat. Need a little bit more wave clear, but they can run that on the draft. Be helpful against Gul'dan too, and you can get past the Johanna.
I'm just really interested what Granit Gaming is now going to do. That early Gul'dan priority still throws me off a little bit. Definitely it can be a strong hero, but I don't really see that massive of a priority on him. Reyna and Stukov on the other hand, that really rounds out the draft. You have some auto attacks, some consistent damage out. The sustained damage that comes through Reyna is going to be great for them. Stukov for follow-up is also pretty great. So I like that rotation a lot. If they play around the cooldowns of especially the Blessed Shield again, they can set something up here where they have the immediate follow-up through a Silence with a Lurking Arm and then deliver with Gul'dan's damage and Reyna. They can also follow up with a Horrify, so that works for them. But here comes Stitches and Kel'Thas again for the second time now on the battleground. And a nice CC follow-up for Hook.
Oh, Mouth. Interesting. I was expecting a Blaze here or a Leoric to make sure you can handle the hooks and you have a solid front line to make sure Gul'dan and Reyna are not exposed. But Darkmok goes straight into the Malthael.
I don't mind it too much. I didn't expect it either. I really expected them, as you said, to maybe head into Blaze again so that they have a bit more sustain with it too. But they have good damage with Reyna and with also Gul'dan. So if they're able to just get a couple of last right stacks in there, that would definitely work out. You have Stitches against you, and you have also at the same time Urel. But against the hooks, I still would have kind of liked them to have Blaze with a bunker there. I mean, you have Hook into a Gravity Lapse follow-up, so there's definitely a CC train on the opponent's side that can be used. If that is perfectly executed, you have also Deckard Cain to follow that up.
Sure.
So bunker would have been great in that spot. But then again, Malthael, if he gets those stacks together, and he is going to do a good job at the solo lane. But it's definitely on both sides a little bit of a... It's not quite a draft that I expected.
There's trade-offs.
After coming from the Western Clash and Eastern Clash and seeing the best from both regions play in the way that they draft, this is definitely standing out a bit, and it seems like a lot of these picks are preference picks.
Yeah, Malthael can hold himself against a Urel in lane, but I'm more worried about the team fights and how they're going to pull him off in team fights. He feels much weaker there. Let's go ahead and go straight into here. On the left side, on the blue, Granit Gaming, Wolf Joe playing Stukov, Memecraft on Raynor, Nande on Johanna, Raid Boss on Gul'dan, and Darkmok to play Malthael.
Granit Gaming is 1-0 against the Monkeys, and the Red team is trying to change that with Crosby now on Junkrat. Make in game number 2 finds himself on Kel'Thas. Alex the Pro G on Urel for the side lane. Rema Baller on Stitches, and a Splendor on Deckard Cain.
So Splendor will be looking to grab those roots on top of Rimmer if he can land these hooks. Raynor and Gul'dan, prime targets to land on. Man, even Stukov, Johanna, the only one that you don't really want to make sure to land that hook on top of. The Monkeys definitely have their CC train available, especially with Make there to back him up. You see Make already positioned, willing to drop in that Gravity Lapse if that were to connect.
There's a lot of AoE damage available for the Monkeys here that they can use through Slam, through Kel'Thas, and also Junkrat for the additional poke. For me, it's really how much of an impact can Malthael have here right now. Again, I said it before, this is for me something where I just see a lot of preference picks on both sides. It's definitely different from the drafting we've seen at the Western Clash and the Eastern Clash. Very, very different priorities, but at least Kel'Thas having a bit more of of a position again in HGC. Alex is actually suffering here at the bot lane a lot against Malthael right now. Urel really getting wrecked.
Yeah, Darkmonk doing a really good job of one, dodging out on that knockback shield to pop in, which does some decent damage. And then secondly, also fighting near those minion waves. And Alex Approach, who went into the middle of the fight at the very beginning, also was chunked down. So Granit Gaming has a solid lead on that lane. And we can expect some possible rotations for the Monkeys to help him out, because Alex, after tapping, is going to be hurting for a little bit.
Yeah, Darkmonk is trying to do the exact same thing once again. Put the pressure on, put the pain on here. Whereas we have already an early camp attempt here by the Monkeys, going straight in with Splendor and with Crossbeat to secure that and get some mid lane pressure going. But that also means that for now, they don't have any presence in the middle of the map. So Gul'dan is already heading with Stukov towards their own night camp as they realize what the Monkeys are up to, especially since they saw no one towards the Siege Giant at the bottom of the map. So both of the teams now with an attempt to set that up, and it seems like the Monkeys are just prepping their own camp for later on.
Darkmonk comes in, puts some damage on Stitches, needs to be careful not to go too far. That Gravilap just barely missing. Could have been the lockdown that Monkeys was looking for, and they could have had Crosby knock Malthael straight into those turrets.
Deckard is moving in. He's going to take the camp any second now. This is one of those moments where you just want to someone head over and just steal it away. Just realize, okay, they've been gone for that long, definitely they took the camp, and then just steal it. And in this case, Deckard takes it. We have the same camp now also taken by Granit Gaming, so a bit of a better timing for the Monkeys, just because they had prepped that properly. And outside of that, I mean, the builds right now, it's sustain build for Stitches, going to the Amplified Healing on level 4. We're seeing also Urel with a slight adjustment here on her own level 4 with a Hand of Freedom now. So the extra movement speed, so like it's basically that mini cleanse that you have, or that pseudo cleanse.
Great Boss in trouble in the middle, but he gets healed up as Granit Gaming will group up as 5. And you were talking about Urel on her level 4. Look at Malthael on his level 4. Die Alone gets picked up. This is where it can feel really strong as a Malthael player in that lane against Urel. Chunk her down quite quickly, especially if you can fight around the minion waves. So Darkmonk will be looking to do that to Alex Aproji, something that Urel has actually a difficult time dealing with, which is weird, because Urel for most lanes usually can just win straight up by playing it slow, avenging Wrath, keeping with the wave clear, chunking it down slowly. Malthael throws a wrench in those lanes.
There comes Alex jumping in with Urel, trying to isolate Memecraft here. Memecraft with a stutter step. So far, no one here to help him out. New Gravity Lapse comes through, and that might be the end of Reyna. First kill for the Monkey Menagerie. They take down Jimmy, and very few gems are lost here. Not too many. Most got picked up. But still, really nice approach there on the side of the Monkeys. They're heavily relying currently on hooks, but at least with that engage from Alex from the side, they were able to just zone out Jimmy and get that first blood.
This is a build that we've also saw from JPL in the past when mixed with Deckard Cain. Hang on, a hook comes out. Alex Aproji gonna drop a pause. We should be seeing Wolf Joe take some damage here. It looks like Maki is actually in a position where he can land the Gravity Lapse too. But back to the Stitches build, we have the Regen Globe into the Amplified Healing on level 4, which pairs well with Deckard Cain. You get the potions coming in, you're able to grab the shields, and Stitches is very difficult to take out of any type of team fight. This allows him to step up on that front line and be more in the area of where Johanna might be and not have to deal with dying quickly, because usually Stitches does not want to be engaged upon.
And I really think this is one of the moments when then also Malthael comes again into play, right? That's one of the reasons I feel why they picked the hero. First of all, bot lane control, and second of all, going up against Urel and Stitches. So Malthael in a spot where he can deal with that a little bit better, especially after the heroic is in play. But we have already seen Nikeltha's idea here. You get the hook into the CC, and Deckard Cain is following up a lot of these plays with an immediate root attempt. But as long as you have the Gravity Lapse, you have a lot of that available. So the CCs are really, really strong for the Monkeys. But they're also one-tricking a little bit on the displacement through hooks and Junkrat mines.
Wolf Joe actually able to survive that initial hook that came in, even with Alex coming in for a rotation to take him out. That self-heal will keep him in the game, while Darkbuck kept with the bottom lane. Now the Web Weavers have been pushing in, haven't done too much yet here, actually, as they're starting to descend. Here we go. As the rest of the Monkeys are working on attempting to get these lanes pushed out before the Web Weavers get here.
Web Weavers in, I mean, this is really one of the moments where Granit Gaming needs to get something done. They need to take a few of those structures down. The Monkeys have pushed out the lanes, as you said. So now it's about Granit Gaming pushing that through and trying to make sure that they're at least getting a few of the walls. Stitches not hitting the hooks, that's a big cooldown that already got burned, and that allows now an easy push in with the lurking arm already put towards the gate. And Raid Boss is getting the damage in through his level 1. 18 stacks right now on Gul'dan's Echoed Corruption. Still a bit of a weird game, to be honest. It's a little bit back and forth. I mean, right now I'm still waiting for the first hook to properly connect and get any kind of follow-up.
Yeah.
You mentioned at the beginning of the game how there isn't really a lot of heroes that can simply just eat that hook. You have Johanna who can use the Iron Skin to just simply get away from it. But outside of that, you're looking at fantastic targets. You have Stukov, you have Reyna, you have Gul'dan, and even Malthael there. But Remorbola hasn't really connected the hook yet, so there's nothing to be done just yet. The problem, of course, still remains that once you get the hook in play and you get the kill right away, that's when you gain all the momentum. We've seen a lot of teams playing very, very passive for a long time and then find that one hook that allows them to start back into the game. But I'm just a little bit worried that it's difficult for them to really push forward outside of Ural.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult too, especially with the web weavers coming towards them. They have to deal with clearing that out first. Kel'Thas has to put his attention towards clearing out those web weavers, which means now you don't want to go for a hook attempt. If you do a hook attempt, that suddenly can be an engage for your opponent. So Granite Gaming could try and get a kill off of that. So now it's going to be about patience to move towards that level 10 with Granite Gaming having a solid early game and getting the turn-ins. It's just a matter of when you get to level 10 and if you've lost a couple of forts, suddenly there's not room for Stitches to move in for those hooks. Suddenly you're in a weird spot. Do you go for a Putrid Bile? Do you try to get the lockdowns? Or do you go for the Hail Marys and start gorging?
I'm more worried about the other side of the equation, because once Granite Gaming has level 10, they have insane setups. You have a Blessed Shield into a Lurking Arm, into a Horrify. So no matter who you go up against, you have a chain that you can establish very, very easily where you should be able to pick a kill up. Especially when you then have 13 in and you can just like root the target down. You're in a position... It should be like with the synergy that we've seen already in game number 1, where they had a lot of good attempts through a Blessed Shield setup. They should have an easy time here with a Blessed Shield into a Lurking Arm, and if they need the Horrify, also drop the Horrify to take a target down. So you've been talking about the level 10s on the Monkeys. I feel the Monkeys' biggest problem is that the synergy that comes online on their opponent's draft is going to be really tough to break on level 10. Because they themselves, I mean, they have a couple of damage tools, but if you are looking at their setup, there's nothing really that scares me too much.
Oh, don't forget about Stay a While and Listen. Stay a While and Listen is one of those heroics that if you see something coming your way that's going to try and lock you down and blow you up, as you were mentioning, and you can get that angle and get 2 or 3 people locked in top of it, that can turn a fight completely.
True, with a Junkrat Riptire, that's maybe a bit of a concern.
Sure.
But then you look at Stitches. Most likely Putrid Bile, I would say. But even if you have Gorge...
Does it run away?
Does it really make anything that they have at this point already so much more dangerous? I don't really think so. They have a bit more zone control, but I'm more so worried about the synergy from Granite Gaming. Because they can also, if they go into Last Rites, easily secure any kind of kill they set up through that chain. I mean, here we go already. I mean, this is a setup through those stuns, taking down Alex, dropping all those gems, and that's even without Blessed Shield and any kind of damage through a Horrify.
Part of that was also a bit of a missed timing. We had the Avenging Wrath come out as he wanted to clear the minion waves, and Granite Gaming something was there, and he just got completely caught out. But yeah, your point still stands. The amount that Granite Gaming can do if they land that silence, especially post-level 13, is something deadly the Monkeys are going to have to deal with. And we lose a few gems, too, with that Yrel getting picked off.
So we're also going to savor the flavor now for Remorbola, and it's just really all about the sustain here. And in a long game, this is a great talent to have. But I'm not sold on this build here. It's a build we've seen before, for sure. But against the draft that they're up against with Last Rites hopefully coming in on level 10, Stitches still is killable. And also I don't really see how Remorbola is getting a lot of stacks on Savor the Flavor here. You need those extra quest stacks if you want to have the regeneration. And of course it synergizes with Amplified Healing too. But for that you really need to be in the thick of things and get those stacks. And currently I'm wondering if he really gets as much value as he's hoping for.
It's one of those builds that can pay off well if Decker Kane is there to support you the entire time. It's going to come down to Wolfjo to make sure that Rimmer is able to get in the thick of things, as you were mentioning. But I do see your concern, especially with the amount of damage available for Granite Gaming with that Malthael coming in for that 5th pick. But Monkey's still believing in this pick. We'll see how it works out for them. The one good news, too, is that he can be a bit aggressive with Kel'Thas with that mana addict about finish up. Level 20 won't need as many resources from Decker Kane, so Wolfjo can focus on Rimmer and make sure this build does get value. We'll have to see how they pull it off, because so far, you're right, Granite Gaming is outplaying this early game, and there is potential for them to start opening up that map more with them grabbing a Night Camp and Horrify coming online. That full combo you were alluding to earlier is here and ready.
I think the kill potential on Granite Gaming has just now gone through the roof. And if they find anyone at that front, they should be able to secure that kill. And Nande is waiting for an opportunity to move in and drop that Blessed Shield, and you know that Stukov is going to be there. So let's see if Monkey can break through that rhythm, or if it's something where Granit Gaming is able to just complete that setup. Especially with Malthael already being around, just dancing around the second turn-in point. If he gets closing in on that, he can... Yeah, and here they come already, trying to move in, but mistiming it slightly. The Blessed Shield not really connecting with the Stukov Silence as they were hoping for. So Junkrat not taken out, was able to move away. That's, of course, a big cooldown opportunity burned here.
Yeah, Crosby with the sidestep, jumping straight into his mind, knocks himself back. But here's a Horrify, and Maka, he can't do anything there. He gets picked off, and Darkmok, it's go time as he moves in and chases down Splinter and Alex Aproji.
Yeah, it's like if you get the flank against Kalthas like this, there's just absolutely no way of saving the mage. The Horrify here was absolutely amazing. It was fantastic. And that already established another presence for them in the middle of the map. They can try and get the turn in, at least a few of these gems. Don't quite have the numbers yet, but they're going to get them any second. And in another 12 seconds, we're going to see that Blessed Shield ready again. So Nanda is going to wait for another setup. It's going to communicate with Wolfjo. They don't necessarily need the Horrify for it, especially if Last Rites is up, which it is, and Malthael is around.
Another turn-in available for Granit Gaming. Monkey's attempting to drop off, but with the Banshee floating around, it's difficult to, one, kill that thing, and two, get away from its ever-prying eyes. It continues to keep an eye on you. Nande in the middle lane takes a little bit of pressure, but Rimmer gets slowed down dramatically. And the Banshee shells away. Now here's a Gorge. Raid Boss is chasing with no Horrify. Yeah,
but Blessed Shield can come out if he needs it. Iron Skin already used. There's the kill against Deckard Cain. And they're going against Johanna. The counter kill, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Memecraft actually about to fall here as Alex is just jumping in deep, securing kill number 2. And they're going for the triple as Darkmok is finding himself in a lot of trouble, trying to move away here, but should eventually fall.
Trying to buy some time for some healing. Here comes the Horrify action.
Wow.
Darkmok dodges backwards with the help of Raid Boss, and they're actually looking for a kill. Maka comes in, though, and gets the big gravity lapse into a Flame Strike.
I was just about to say the Dark God is here, and then he falls after all, but that was definitely well played by him. Dishing out a ton of damage and surviving for a lot longer than expected.
Staying way alive longer than expected. Now, with that being said, Monkeys this entire time have had their web weavers starting to push these lanes, and they are looking to do some fort damage. Junkrat in the middle already working on that. We have a big push at the bottom with a total of 4 coming in as Monkeys continue to move for that fort. And this will give them a boost in experience, and they'll actually take the lead in the game.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where it was at the start not looking too good for them since they immediately lost Deckard Cain, but then getting the double kill was super important because it also came with an additional web weaver wave, and that was fantastic for them. But it's still 13 versus 13. The cooldowns are up again on the side of Granit. Nanda is already shocking around here, trying to see if he can maybe set something up. Inevitable End coming in for Malthael is also another great tool now, how you can dodge out on the hook or any kind of follow-up.
Important to dodge on that CC. Hook comes out for Memecraft, but he hugs his fountain and he'll be just safe. Another turn-in available for the Monkeys, and they'll immediately go for it. Uriel in the bottom lane trying to grab that turn-in, but that buys time for Monkeys to turn in on the top side, and it's going to be enough. Second wave coming soon.
That was actually a bit of a misstep here by Granit Gaming. They should have had more control. There was no reason for them to not try and control the turn-in point a little bit better. They had 13 talents, so did their opponent. So that was just a slow rotation, and Monkeys were already in position. Got the second turn-in. And that's really annoying for Granit Gaming. They need to be careful here now.
Yep, they were really expecting Nande to kind of hold his own on the top side. He couldn't really peel off too much. He always had that threat of a hook coming out, so Granit Gaming put as much weight as he could in the bottom lane to make sure the turn-in didn't come that way, but Nande was unable to delay. Webweaver on the fort already, while an Iron Skin has to come out early. Monkeys are starting to find their own momentum.
The Rimmer Bowler really wanted that Gorge. By the way, coming back to the Savor the Flavor, as I said before, I don't really see him get... Oh, nice hook. And the Gorge is in. They are moving in for now. Let's shield as well, but the immediate blow up against Gul'dan. Absolutely no way for him to stay alive. Maybe with a Horrify, he could have made something happen. Second hook is connecting, but here comes the shove as they are moving out of harm's way. One kill against Granit Gaming, but they are still keeping their hopes alive.
Hook, line, and sinker. Rimmer just landing these hooks 3 in a row. It's going to be on Nande, who turns around with the Condemn. Alex Aproji taking some damage on the front line. No last rights coming out. Gotta be careful of that Ardent Defender possibly popping in, even though it's a cooldown trade that you might like.
That could have actually been a kill. If that silence connects a little bit better with Alex, I think Malthael can go in and take him down. But I also wanted to talk a bit about the level 7 choice on Stitches. I mentioned that earlier, that I just don't know if Savor the Flavor is going to give Stitches the value. We only have 2 stacks on the talent. Only 2. There's 4 hit points per second. That's not really a whole lot here right now. So definitely not getting as much as Rema was probably hoping for. I mean, again, it's going to scale well into the late game if he continues to use his Devour. But now we have Granit Gaming with an attempt to set themselves ahead here, since they get their own turn in. And in experience, they're not really looking too bad. So if they get some value out of the Web Weaver wave now, they should be able to take the lead in experience again.
This match has gone back and forth as we have another Web Weaver coming in. Hang on, another hook. Rimmer gets sped up. He runs to the side. Gonna be the knock-up is knock him over to the fort. He's gonna pop the Iron Skin and the Blessed Shield. KT gets locked by the Silence Nande trying to escape, running to Stukov for some heals.
Yeah, and that's the end of Johanna. A little bit too early on the Blessed Shield here, I feel. I think he could have held it for a little bit longer, but now that's the kill that Monkeys were hoping for. And the follow-up side just isn't there. I want Granit Gaming to be a little bit more aggressive. They're currently falling into the trap that they're playing a very reactive game.
Stay on while listen, on to Malthael. Able to cleanse himself and back up, but Stukov might be in trouble. Wolfjo attempting to escape. He has that massive shove. Needs to get it on top of Urel here if he wants to escape, but he turns around, puts it on Stitches, and Wolfjo is down.
Yeah, that's the end of him. And they're losing gems now too. Granit Gaming is honestly starting to make a couple of really big mistakes.
I mean, it's a hook factor. The moment you have 1, 2, 3 starting to hit you, it introduces chaos in your team composition. The thing is, I feel like they have a composition that they can afford to sit down and say, okay, let's hold back for a second, reevaluate, move forward. You have great late game.
You just lost your tank. Stop running in 4 versus 5 with no tank whatsoever. It's the only hero in the entire setup that has a chance to walk away from a hook. Once the tank is down, why are you sticking around in the mid lane? Now they lost another hero, so they're just like staggering kills. You have a nice kill combo. Just take a breath and wait until you have that set up, and then try and set up a kill yourself. They are falling into the trap where just standing around and allowing Rama to get additional hooks in without really fighting here. Stukov isn't here yet. Take a moment and don't get hooked. Nice.
Comes out. Inevitable end. Gonna make sure that Mouth doesn't get connected with. Felt like he may have dodged that, but just being safe there.
Granit Gaming is currently really showing nerves. They're definitely nervous and feeling pressure. Monkeys, on the other hand, they're completely capitalizing on that. But given the fact that they already have 7 kills against 3, they're actually not as far ahead as you would expect. But they have a turn-in available, and if they get that, then we are going to have a lot of problems for Granit Gaming. Nice setup here. This might be an opportunity for them to get the kill. They're trying to go for Kalthas. He goes down. The Riptide comes through, but Darkmog is still alive. The hook does not connect this time. And the setup for Monkeys backfires.
And it does. Blessed Shield came out to slow down the possibility for Stitches to retreat away, and Granit Gaming want to have 5 on the map. They're going to start trying to soak up a few of these gems. Monkeys, while losing Kalthas does hurt, they still have enough for a turn-in. Granit Gaming turns their attention over towards the boss, and Monkeys need to decide. Do they want to drop off the gems now, go for a defensive turn-in, or do they want to invade? And they're thinking about invading.
Yeah, but the hook has already been dropped. Hook is not ready yet. It will be up in just a few seconds, but that boss is definitely going to go over to Granit Gaming. Now the hook, is it going to connect?
Ooh.
No, it doesn't. They knew it was coming.
They were hugging that wall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know that hook is coming. You see the first one coming in. You know that it's a big cooldown. It's going to be ready towards the end there. Monkeys don't turn in. They don't want to sacrifice the gems for the boss. So now we're seeing Granit Gaming just establishing that control again. They have the experience that they need, and they move into the mid lane to at least get some value here. But Remabola is playing all around the hooks, and Granit Gaming is finally realizing that they just have to do a better job playing around the hooks and making sure that Remabola isn't always getting that gorge. Or if there is a gorge, that they simply move in, drop a Horrify, drop your Blessed Shield, and play around that. So Granit Gaming, I feel they have finally found a little bit more of a rhythm in the game.
Monkey's going to allow for a little bit more damage on the keep wall in the top right corner. A hook finally comes out, will land on Nande. Johanna is going to be the target. She is pulled back. She still has her Iron Skin available. Can turn around and drop that Blessed Shield. Here comes the Condemn. Minecraft afterwards comes up and steps with auto-attacks in.
Yeah, there's the roots. Nande is about to go down. Can they get a counter kill? Yes, they can. Down goes Deckard Kane. There's a decent one here. Trade 1 for 1. The important part with this one was really that the hook comes out and Remabola immediately gorges. But the problem is both of the CC heroes, Kalthas with the Gravity Lapse and Deckard Kane, blow their cooldowns immediately as the hook comes in. which is what you usually would expect when you try to follow up. But because Rimmerballer gorged the target, those 2 cooldowns were burned, so the only thing that they could do to keep Johanna in place was body block her. That's the only thing that was available to them, and that made them stack up. So then they could get the damage out, at Granit Gaming that is, and they follow up with a kill against Deck Arcade. So it's still a worthy trade for Granit here.
Monkeys still keep on their gems, despite losing
103.
103. They have gained about 30 in the last 2 minutes here. Another hook comes out. Keeping an eye on Rimmer. Every time I hear that sound, I'm looking for that hook to connect. It has hit many times so far. But in terms of experience, neck and neck. Both teams about to hit level 19. And Granit Gaming has started to get their own gym set up as they look for their next turn-in. But Monkeys, they grab the first turn-in here, and they'll be having a push at the top and middle lane.
Monkeys can definitely win this game. Another hook connects here. This time he's walking away, but Monkeys are in a spot now where they can win that game for sure. Granit Gaming has failed after level 10 to get those kills set up. They had a couple of really cool attempts where they were securing 1 or 2, but in general it was just them failing a bit to adapt to the hook pressure that we saw from the Monkeys. And Monkeys are playing very aggressively now around that, and they're doing really, really well in that regard. 2 stacks already on the last rides. That's decent cooldown reduction that we have for Malthael. We have 5 stacks on Savor the Flavor. Kel'Thas, by the way, is now in a position where he has 40 stacks on his level 1 quest. And this is now the defense at the top. So once again, we're looking towards hooks. Rimmerballer is going to try and throw them out every now and then. Monkey's also on the way to level 20, but Granit Gaming still has that kill combo set up, and they're looking for it.
Monkeys don't have to do anything aggressive here. Maybe toss out a hook, try and lock somebody down with 20 connecting. Again, they know that they have a turn-in available after this initial web weaver turn-in, and without Granit Gaming having 20, they won't be able to push out. All they want to do is open up the map as much as possible so their next spiders will be able to get towards these keys.
And the more they open the map up, the more opportunities there are for Rimmerballer to land another hook, and that's the important part. They're going in again. Echoed Corruption, by the way, has also not been completed yet. We're looking at 35 stacks here for now. The level 20 talents make it very, very difficult for Granit Gaming to push out here. But they're trying to go in, already looking for that setup. Here comes the level 1 completion. 19.5 minutes in. Echoed Corruption is in play. So is, of course, the Ruinous Affliction after level 16. So this is the time where especially Raid Boss on that Gul'dan can shine.
The Hand of Freedom has been so helpful. Force Stitch is able to get that movement speed, dash away from a fight. It's been used every time a Gorge has connected. Yrel there every single time. Even there, we had a hook come out and it missed, and Granit Gaming showed they wanted to put some pressure on top of Stitches, but we had Yrel, Alex Aproji, drop down the Hand of Freedom and allowed Stitches to completely back up.
Demonic Circle has been, that was actually a nice interaction there. Darkmog with the inevitable end, but it actually is the Banshee that gets hooked. But the Demonic Circle is a nice adjustment that we have on Gul'dan's side now, where he can definitely save any kind of hook. If there's not an immediate blow up against him while he is CC'd, then he can move away from that. So that's a pretty cool move, and indestructible as well. There's a lot of tools available now to Granit Gaming to get that survivability here in these situations. And Granit has now their own turn-in, and they haven't lost a keep yet. So right now, they are with great tools in a position where they can again look for that one kill and turn it around. And at the same time, they have a much better chance of surviving a hook combination on the other side.
But they do have to stretch across the map. Monkeys did a great job at making sure to push out the lane so the web weavers wouldn't get as far. Granit, stretching as much as they can here in the middle and the top, will get it about halfway. So Monkeys have time. They can slowly poke away. They do have Make with Kel'Thas moving into the Flame Strike to help clear up these web weavers. Need to be careful though. Remember, maybe overstepping a little.
Yeah, they're doing it. The Monkeys are doing a really decent job of just staying away and not falling into... Like, they don't allow Johanna to go to simply in and drop a blessed shield with follow-up. So Johanna's always out there trying to zone a little bit and try and eat that hook with a blessed with the Iron Skin. But at the same time, there's no one on the Monkey side really overstepping and allowing for a kill to happen. Malthael, of course, holding back his 20 in case he has to buy back, but the pressure here is starting up, and now we have Raid Boss in the position where he can, of course, do a lot of work just simply through his level 1 completion.
Junker out the defense on the bottom lane. Should be able to clear that way. We're up, but Granit Gaming saving that small amount of time they have, but Junker pushing in to put some damage on top of that keep. Problem is, KT clears out these waves in a pretty efficient manner. Remember, always has a hook. Ooh, but the teleport back home.
That might... I'm not quite sure if he really needed that, but that was definitely one of those better safe than sorry moments where Gul'dan was just like, yeah, that ain't happening. Just go back straight away.
I mean, imagine you get hooked and you have to stay a while and listen immediately afterwards. You won't be able to land that thing. You get blown up immediately. Safe, definitely the play there. Instead of saying, sorry, team. I didn't hit my button.
It's actually getting really close in this game. I would have really expected Granit Gaming to walk away with a massive lead after level 10 in the synergy that they had, but Monkeys, they were able to stay alive for a long duration here. And them just getting these hooks in, as we had Granit Gaming in a bit of a state of panic in the mid-game, where they just stood around too long. They ate hook after hook, kill after kill against them. They lost control over the middle of the map. But now it's just absolutely dead even in this game. A bit more damage on the side of Granit Gaming's mid-key, but outside of that, we're just waiting for that first kill to happen. They can snowball it all.
And the one time that we don't normally talk about with Junkrat, hang on, actually fight in the middle as Urel is going to be taken out. Rimmer trying to kite away. Darkbot wanting to move in with a chase, goes in, tries to slow him down a little bit, maybe go for a body block, but it has to be a little wonderful as he has to be careful with the low amount of health that he has.
And that's the setup.
Horrify!
The Horrify is in, that's the second kill, and this is exactly what we've been talking about all game long. The Horrifies, the opportunities they get created, and all of this was even happening for the most part without Last Rites being a factor. Last Rites was used in the last instance against Kel'Thas here, and that's now a third stack contributed to their heroic ability. And of course right now they can make an easy play for boss. Monkeys have to turn in to deal with that boss. They should be able to defend here for now. But Granit Gaming has just now shown how dangerous that composition is. And that's the kill potential that we've been talking about ever since the game started, and they finally show it.
Granit Gaming committing to a push here in the top lane. Are they going to fully commit to this? Webweavers will be first. This boss is a 23-minute boss. It will chunk if it gets on top of that keep. Junkrat already setting up for defense, but Urel is back. She just now spawned, and Kel'Thas is here in 10 seconds. Hook comes out, and it's on Raynor.
It's on Raynor, but Nanda is already flanking it. Nanda is flanking in, stay a while, listen, but this is bad right now for the Monkeys. If this is played right by Granit, they're already starting to move in. Last Rites is ready, hasn't been used yet. The keep is down, and now a lot of the tools that we're seeing on Monkeys have been used. They don't have a lot left.
Granit Gaming keeping up with the push. Flame Strike will keep coming out from Maka. He's focusing down the boss. Wolfjoe's low on health. Rimmer is chasing, but Rimmer shouldn't be able to get that kill. The heal's about to come up for Wolfjoe too. He even attempted to use a massive shove. There's a Horrify into some decent armor from Rimmer, so he should be able to escape, but the boss, it keeps chunking.
Yeah, down goes Stitches. Darkmook the entire time hasn't even used his Last Rites. He could have used that against Stitches a long time ago, but refused to drop it. I'm not sure if
Core
is about to fall, yeah. I'm not sure if they can do anything about that anymore. Nope, that thing is gonna be dead. Down it goes. We have Monkeys losing game number 2 as Granit Gaming picks up the second win and takes the 2-0 lead.
Still a fun back and forth match between the two. The hook started to get hot in the middle of the map, and Rimmer was able to find a couple of those hooks. The team follow-up was there. A couple of kills came in. The Webweavers eventually got turned in, and we had some damage coming their way, but Granit Gaming, resilient, holds their own and answers back and secures the win themselves.
But Granit definitely showing a few weaknesses in synergy on the kill combo.
Sure.
Especially towards the last, I was really surprised that Darkmook just simply dropped the Last Rites on Stitches. Stitches survived for like an eternity because he just completely ignored him, and that would have been an easy kill confirmed. And he's already sitting at 3 stacks, so with a 4th one coming in there, the core was about to fall anyway, so that was a bit odd, especially since he himself was finding himself in trouble. But towards the end, Granit finally executing that combo that we've been waiting for up to that point. But Monkeys, I feel they had a chance of winning this.
Yeah.
They had so many hooks in the mid-game. Maybe with a bit more pressure through the turn-ins that they had, they could have gotten a keep and executed that, but it was actually well done with how many hooks they were able to set up, even when the CCs weren't ready because there was a cooldown. They body blocked very well, and they put even Johanna in a very odd spot where even with Blessed Shield and Iron Skin available, it was very tricky for Nanda to walk away. He died 4 or 5 times there just because he was locked down so heavily by his opponent. So pretty well done.
I like the idea of Hand of Freedom also coming in to give them movement speed to Stitches, so it allowed them to get a couple of picks, but it just did not pay off for them. Granit Gaming is up 2-0, and we'll see if they can close it out with game number 3. We're heading to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.